This may be the most crazy, off the rails, in shambles episode that you will ever listen to. It is full, and I mean full, of technical difficulties, but Tommy did his best to give you shareholders a great experience nonetheless. So buckle up for this crazy ride. Let's go.
Share. It's the lion's share. It's the lion's share. It's the lion's share.
Oh, is it just me or did everybody else freeze?
No, I'm here. Oh, there's two Bens again. This is an unfiltered disaster.
Welcome back. Welcome into the Lion's Share ahead of the NFL Draft for 2025. That's right. It's mid-April. We are 1 week from the NFL Draft. We are back. The boys are back. Will it be a wide receiver at 28? Will it be an edge? Could it be a D tackle? Could it be Andrew's coveted offensive tackle? Or could we even see them trade down or trade out of the first round? We will be here for the next hour or so, trying to do our best Brad Holmes impersonation, talking about the new NFL rules and a Netflix special that includes none other than JG, Jared Goff, the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. Back, as always, with the experts far and wide across the nation here, Mitch and Andrew. Good to have you guys back. Had a pop quiz question for you. Have the Lions ever had their first round draft pick be this far back with number 28?
No.
Negatory.
Well, congratulations, folks. You would be correct with that. They've had a couple in the 90s when they had their little run there. They had a couple picks around 26.
Picks in the 90s?
Well, the
pretty far back. Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. You know, the banter is why the folks do come to this here podcast. So that's why Neil Block, shout out to Neil, commented on our last post. Infamously, we had that discussion. Will the Super Bowl or will the Patriots win a Super Bowl in the next 10 years? I made that bet with you, Mitch, that they wouldn't win one. You wanted to take the other side of that. Is that correct?
I think it's just crazy to say that you were basically guaranteeing that they wouldn't win one in the next 10 years. And I believe Andrew was on my side of the fence. I think Andrew was kind of like, it's crazy to guarantee.
He's always on your side.
The right side.
That's wrong. I play both sides.
It's Mr. Unbiased.
I play the right side typically, though. Easy, Mitch.
Yeah, well, you can comment as well on Spotify, YouTube, and all the others. You can also watch us on Spotify video. If you guys haven't watched the last two episodes or been living under a rock.
Why haven't you? Why not?
Exactly. Number one question, where you been? And number two, you can watch us on Spotify now, too. So if you want to see these ugly mugs, bask in our glory.
Speaking of which, Andrew, for those who are watching, what picks do the Bucks have in this year's draft?
All the good ones, dude. The ones that matter. So
pro answer.
Yeah, he was ready for that one. That's typical. That's very much the runaround that he just gave you. Well, you can like, comment, and follow, and subscribe on all those platforms. And we're glad that you shareholders are back with us as always. So the draft, April 24th, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Usually we're accustomed to having the Lions be right off the bat with one of those early picks. That won't be the case if you're looking to stay up. And if the Lions do stay at 28, probably going to have a late night there on the Eastern time zone. In addition, the next nights will include the second and third round, and then rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday. Lions will have pick 60 following their 28th pick, 102, 130, 196, 228, and 244. So they've got 7 picks as it stands right now. Obviously, some of that could change if they trade around. Things have changed a little bit since the last time we talked to you, beautiful shareholders. We've got a lot more information. Mock drafts have come through like crazy, obviously. The Lions have had a flurry of top 30 visits. Some running backs, some wide receivers, some tight ends, an offensive lineman, a couple edges, D tackles, linebackers, cornerbacks, and a safety. Mitch has his hand up.
Before we talk, we talked about this a little bit. I would implore all the shareholders, all three of you, to go look
Nice.
up the 2025 draft hats and drop a comment, rate the hats 1 out of 10, and I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. And I think we did this already, but I can't remember. It's so long ago. I give the hats a 4, I think, like just a squared off 4, because they're so good. Other than that, like floral olive branch design that I think just ruins them. So actually, you know what? 3.2 is my final score because they were so close to being so good.
So I just pulled them up, but I'll pull them up for those who are watching. I didn't realize when I sent you guys this that these were the draft hats. I thought these were like the sideline hats for this year, but I guess these are the draft hats. As you, we try to add technology to the podcast, and then you just lose one of them.
Yeah,
we'll get him back, folks. We'll get him
some
back.
Some of us are just too focused on our record players.
Yeah. He's got a record player now in the living room for those uninitiated. Yeah, so these are the hats that Mitch is alluding to here. If we can
you zoom in a little bit, Benjamin?
We're working on it. Tommy's working on it.
Okay, sorry.
Not as much as I thought.
Yeah, there's just.
But anyway,
that thing on the bill. There's just no reason for it. Like I love them. I would 100% buy it. I think the pin is really cool. Like they're doing all the custom pins that you can take off and on, like those little things, the gibbets on Crocs for those who have Crocs.
Shout out.
That feels like it might be a decent amount of our listeners. But yeah, I just don't understand the leaves on the bill.
Yeah, I don't know if that is something significant with 2025. Are we not familiar enough with the Roman Empire to know what this is?
Could be.
Maybe that's bad on us.
Not history buffs.
We didn't do our homework. Not history buffs. Not Jeopardy watchers here. I'm not sure. What was your rating, sir?
I say 3.2
out of 5.
Out of 10.
Oh wow, that's a miserably failing grade.
I think just because if without the leaves, to me, they're like they're like an 8.7. They're just so clean and classic.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from there. I'm still even with the leaves. I'll give them a 6.5. I think is what I told you guys in the chat. 6.5, 7 in that range.
Okay, I think I dropped my score, but I'm comfortable with 3.2.
Yeah,
I'm being harsher because it was so close to good, and there are other colorways for those at home.
Of course, yes. And what do we think about this right here? The $50 price tag. That seems a little steep.
No, that's insane. It's insane.
I thought when we went to like the $35, $40 hats, that was tough, but we've adjusted. Now 50 feels like a lot. Plus, you're probably going to get shipping and handling charges on such a thing. They usually do the thing where it's either free standard shipping over $75. So
that's just two hats.
You're talking $100. You could pay. You almost get a jersey for that cost.
Yeah, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I think we might have to trudge on without the good looking one. I know.
I was really doing my darndest to stall to give him a little. He's got a text message that says 0.0. He says he's got a 0.0. Said it crashed his computer.
There you go.
Careful navigating your browsers to neweracap.com. You might get a virus. According to
guess so.
The results here. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Totally forgot about that discussion that we had. I feel like they just try to get too cute with them each year. That every year you got to do something different. So they went a little too deep in the well here, maybe.
Yeah. So maybe before we talk draft, because this is the draft preview show, and we obviously want our smartest, most handsome host to be around for that. Can we maybe skip ahead and let's talk jersey number changes? What are your initial thoughts? So we've got Gibbs going to 0 and JMO going to 1. What do you think?
And now that I've had a little time, my initial reaction was I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've had a little time, my reaction is I still don't like it.
Attaboy.
I'll get used to it. By week 6, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And, we'll all forget about Gibbs being number 26. But 26 on him just looked like
so
a good number.
See, his bothers me more. JMO's doesn't bother me as much. That one's kind of whatever, going from 9 to 1. Gibbs though, I think 26 would have been really cool to just stick that out and kind of be like an OG 26 because I can't think off the top of my head. I can't think of like a, and I'm sure there are some, but like there, obviously you got Barry is 20, like Sean Alexander sticks out 32. There are some guys who had just like made their number and are just, that's who
Trying to
you
do
think
the
of. But
trying to do the LaDainian Tomlinson 21.
LT 21, yep, that's a good one. Yeah, I can't think of any good
Saquon's
26.
26, right? He was
Yeah, maybe that's what he's trying to avoid.
Yeah, I didn't think about that till you just brought up the numbers. Yeah, 0 to me, I told you guys in the group chat, 0 to me is like a big fullback number. Uh, as a running back, I just think of DeAndre Swift, and I don't like that.
And we don't like that. That's correct. You are correct.
So that's tough. I'll get used to it. Like I said, by week 6, I'll be used to it by week 6. But I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the magnitude of numbers. We had like 6 guys change numbers.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, especially because I believe they still have to buy the merch out there, right? I think they still have to pay for that. Is that the rule?
Oh, I don't know.
I think
Tell
that's
me
the
more.
rule. I think I think the player is responsible for essentially buying all of the ruined merchandise that's out there. Or maybe it's not. I thought they floated that out there when they changed their numbers.
Oh,
Sad though. Neighbor down the street had a garage sale last weekend. Swung by, not a big deal. Framed, signed Gibbs jersey number 26 in the garage. I said, that's tough, brother. And he's like, yeah, I know. I don't get it. Don't get what this guy's doing.
RIP to anybody that got the Gibbs jersey. Saw a lot of people in the comments of the Lions post when they posted all the numbers changes. A lot of people with Gibbs, obviously.
Yeah, you pissed.
Stud player.
It was expensive.
Yeah, no, there's no joke. You're paying at least $120 for one of those for the on the low end. So yeah, rightfully upset, but the devil's advocate to that, I guess, is what I saw was people saying that's how you prove that you're an OG fan. You had Gibbs when he was 26.
Do you get both? Or you just get the 26? Okay, that's fair.
You show the 26 off like, hey, look, I was there when he was, when he was a rookie, when he was in his pre-series.
Yep.
So I don't know.
That's a respectable take. Well, as we still kind of hang out, just the two of us.
Just the
rule
two
changes.
of us.
It's like rule changes. Hawkeye technology for first downs. I'm kind of a fan of that.
Got to see it implemented. Last year they tried to use it in the preseason. In fact, I think it was the Lions Giants. They used it and it just really didn't go over well. I think they had a review and it took like 3 minutes, and that's when the NFL said, "Nope, it's not ready."
Yeah.
So, sounds like it's ready now.
Supposed to be quick. Yeah, supposed to be quick. None of the Lions rules though. Lions rules not accepted well. Well, what got tabled though? One of them got tabled to May, which means the NFL wants it to happen. Was that the playoff seeding? I think that's the one.
Yeah, it's the wild
Yes,
card.
the other one got
divisional round.
voted down. The 5 yards for defensive holding, I think, is the one that got vetoed.
Yeah, shout out to Aaron Glenn for being the two teams that voted in favor of that Lions.
Shocker.
Was the Lions and the Jets.
AG wants his guys to be sticky.
Speaking of AG, he doesn't want Aaron Rodgers. That was a great thing to see today.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing is just so funny because it's Aaron's like, I just feel like he didn't appreciate like shut up, dude. Shut up. You've made yourself a spectacle the last, I don't know, I mean, it was 3 years ago, whenever it was that he was a free agent, and now it's like he's holding the Steelers hostage. Like, it's crazy to just be like, everyone should just bow down to me. Why?
Yeah, he's at that point in his career.
Culture
he just
killer.
doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Someone found an old tweet from him, and this could have been a fake tweet, but it looked real to me. He said, "Meeting in person greater than phone calls, always." So, just he's just abiding by the rules, just by Aaron's rules. He would have been upset had they just given him a phone call and told him, "Hey, we're gonna move in a different direction." And so he's upset either way. And technology continues to. I feel like we're two newscasters, Mitch, that are we're waiting for breaking news.
Yeah, we're hanging out. We're it's like Bruce Almighty when like everyone's seeing how the sausage is made right now. What else do we got? We've got some of the rule changes. Quarterback coming back on Netflix. Did you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, I love that show. Love what they did too. A little troll job they had there where they pretended like it was going to be for the mascots. I appreciated that
Mm-hmm.
social post. That was nice. But yeah, it's
Having
going
a
to
little
feature
fun.
golf. Yeah, it's going to feature golf this year. So there's going to be a certain episode that I think us and Lions fans are probably going to skip. That's going to be probably tough to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see how that shakes out because it really this I mean the end of the season was so disappointing. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's again the viewers are going to see how the sausage is made and kind of see those live reactions.
Yeah, I'm excited for, the show. I like the show. Does he have something?
Oh boy,
Sorry, we've got to. Not only do
we've
we
we,
have who's acting
this
like he
is
had something.
the production value is through the roof here today, folks. We might have to
Oh, it's a
we,
Kleenex.
Tommy might have an edit job on his hands for this
That's
episode.
okay. That's okay. Yeah, we'll probably just splice this.
No, no, keep it in.
Keep it all
Let
in.
let the people feel the pain of the lack of effort here from certain someone. Um, did you see that Brad is like super open to trading back still, even though they're at 28? He's like, yeah, well, oh yeah, like well, he's just all about it.
He is. Well, he said get your popcorn ready. I think Andrew alluded to that, but yeah, I think you got to keep the door open at 28 because you're in a position where 27 guys are going to be off the board by the time you get there. So largely it's going to depend on how things shake out in front of you because picks 1 through 5 are usually pretty chalk, pretty predetermined. It feels like Cam Ward's going to go number one, and from there. But after 5, man, it gets crazy, and you're going to get the trades come in, and so they're in a good spot where they can kind of sit back, and if they feel like, hey, our guys just aren't going to be, they're already going to be off the board, and our next ones aren't ready, they could probably trade up, trade back, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brad is just the best available guy, and um, I don't know. They want football guys. Like Brad's always been like, we just want football players. We want athletes. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I will
Zadarius
say
Smith is still out there. What do you think about
he's ex-
that?
he's going to Pistons games. He's flirting with us. He's teasing us.
Yep.
It feels like that's just gonna happen. He's gonna be back.
Yeah, they just want him at like I would say probably half the price. It seems like.
Yeah, you got to imagine that that's a deal that's just eventually going to iron itself out. I don't think there's you know, um, enough teams vowing for him to make him have much leverage in that.
Yeah, I mean he's older. He had some good production. I think Brad's basically like, hey, yeah, he played some good snaps for us, but like we can't afford him. And I mean, if he's not there, he'd be great to bring back at a as a value price or at a value price. I mean, you add depth and you kind of alleviate some of the pressure on Davenport, who's so injury prone. That would be big.
Yeah, for all those reasons, and I think that's kind of what the Lions are doing. They're playing the long game here, just waiting it out. You know, waiting for the deal to happen in front of them, so to speak. And I think they've got the leverage. I don't think there's any other team that he probably wants to play for, one, and two, that want his services enough to pay him more than what the Lions would be willing to pay him. So I think eventually, I think it's a long game, and I think the Brad Holmes and the Lions will win that battle, and we'll see a reunion there in Detroit. He is dating, or allegedly dating, I think, a Detroit rapper, so he's got
The
the
Detroit
connections.
rapper. Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yep. Well, let me ask you this, Mitch.
Yes, Ben.
I think in years past, I know I myself personally, I don't think I've ever gotten one of the Lions draft picks correct. I don't think,
Same.
as far as their first round draft picks go, I think they always go in a direction we don't expect. Infamously they traded up for Gibbs and then had the Jack Campbell, and at the time a lot of reactions online, ourselves included, were were questioning those decisions. Now it's basically everybody just says, let Brad cook. We trust in Brad, all of that. So, I don't want to make too much out of it because it's going to be what it is on draft night, and we're not going to sit here like we're inside their heads. But is there any position that you see them taking, so let me rephrase that. With the 28th pick, the Detroit Lions select, fill in the blank, is there a position there where you would just really scratch your head, like couldn't get behind it?
Jeez. I mean, right away, I think quarterback's just not realistic because I think you have 2 first-round quarterbacks in Shador and Cam, and then everybody else, I feel like has third round and on grades, maybe a couple guys in the second round. So I think quarterback's just kind of out in general. Safety probably. I'd be pretty floored if they went safety.
Really, safety? Not tight end, not another
tight
position?
end would not surprise me. I mean, because tight end, if you just get an extension of the offensive line, and then you've got Laporta, another stud tight end. I don't know who's out there. We're just kind of hypothetically speaking here, but
Colston Loveland could be there.
Colston Loveland, yeah, if he's there. I mean, we don't have a lot of wide receivers. That's something we were going to talk about, and all of a sudden you got, if you call it what it is, and you got Loveland and Laporta combined with St. Brown. That's kind of your receiving core, the bulk of your receiving core. I've seen crazier things.
I will say this about the name. Loveland and Laporta has a nice ring to it. It almost sounds like it could be a law firm of sorts.
Oh, boy.
The Bucks fan is
boy.
not happy, but he's here.
And this entrance here is so aggressive.
Woo! We're here, boys. We're mobile right now. What turned into searching a draft ad has become a fiasco. The computer's dead. It's lucky it's not in pieces right now.
This is why. Don't worry, Andrew. You didn't miss anything. We just had a dog come through in the background of mine, grab some pillows, try to do some questionable things to those pillows. He then came through with a paper towel that he was trying to eat. After
that's what we're calling nothing.
He had to grab some paper towel after he was doing stuff to the pillows.
That's high quality entertainment, man.
Oh, we're going backwards hat. Yeah. Dog does love he just loves to eat paper towels. No reason why.
I love how Andrew's rocking the fitted hat too for the backwards look.
Dan Quinn, let's go.
Yeah, this podcast quickly just went back to like 2000 with that hat style.
All right.
You look like you're like a sous chef at Denny's.
I would have accepted IHOP. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Denny's is so low tier. That could be its own debate. Breakfast chains. You know what there's not enough of is big boys.
Oh, big boys. Wait, yeah, you know what there's too many of? Bob Evans.
Where are you seeing Bob Evans still?
Yeah, those are rare.
Really? I feel like they're all over the place.
Not down here. Andrew, I can only assume that while you were away, you came up with some things that the Bucks might do with that pick.
Which one? I was looking them up. I think they got 6 of them.
They got the best ones, I think it was to quote you.
Yes. I think they're at 18. Maybe their first pick.
All right. So you had floated out off the show that you could see the lines moving down. Some people consider that moving up, moving down, whatever people want to call it. What if the Lions and the Bucks made a trade there? Because the 18, correct me if I'm wrong, is in that window that you had proposed for the Lions to trade up to.
It is in that window. I don't have the draft sheet in front of me. If you guys have it, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe the Packers are up at like 24, somewhere around there, followed by the Vikings, I think, at 25.
Yeah,
I think you got to make a move in front of those guys.
You want to jump those teams.
At least, I think 12 to 18 is the valuable window to get to. I think you flip-flop first, give up your 60th as well, and that might get you up into one of those windows.
Yeah, the Bucks are there at 19. You're right. The Packers and the Vikings are back-to-back 23 and 24. And then the Rams as well. I think, depending on who they're going after, I think you got to try to jump the Rams as well because of the history they had with the Lions. They know what Brad's about. Similar needs for both of these two teams. So you got to watch out for the Rams. Packers could very well be going for that wide receiver because, they don't have a wide receiver one that Mitch has pounded the table on. So a lot of teams or a lot of mocks having the Packers take a wide receiver there. So 12 through 20, which is your window, it's the Cowboys at 12, Dolphins 13, Colts 14, Falcons 15, Cardinals 16, Bengals 17, Seahawks 18, and Bucks 19, and then the Broncos 20. I think you're right. That is where that we see a lot of trades in between those picks, generally speaking. So if they're going to do that, why are they doing that? And what position do you think they might target?
Well, I think this is like the Brad Holmes special, right? What's going to trigger it is if somebody that was on their gotta have list somehow falls. And I think we were talking before pre-crash here. We're at 7% updates, by the way. That's the second update. Either you can't go wrong with, and a little bit of bias here, right? Can't go wrong with one of the Michigan D tackles. Mason Graham, probably not going to be available. If he is, I think you got to make that move to go get him. But what is the other one? Kenneth Grant, I think he's also going to be available. Broderick Martin was that project, and Brad's talked about him here in the last couple of weeks on how he really hasn't panned out, but this is his last season to really prove himself. And yeah, he's had some injuries, and he didn't want to fault him for that, but this is his last chance to really go out and prove himself. So I think if there's one of those top tier D tackles left, I think you might make a move for one of those guys.
Interior D line is on my list. I've got a sticky note here on the in front of me as far as what I see as the needs. I've got wide receiver, offensive line, defensive end, edge / interior D line, because I think those are 1A and 1B for me. But no particular order, by the way, on that list. I think it's largely based on what's available, like you spoke on, Andrew. So, Mitch, what do you think? What do you think the likely, if you could give it a percentage, what do you think the likelihood that the Lions move up in the draft is? First round, that is.
50-50, honestly. I know that's kind of a cop-out, but it just feels like with Brad, it's like you really never know what he's going to do. If there's someone there that Brad is passionate about, he's going to go get. But I feel like he does a good job being smoke and mirrors on like who he likes and who he doesn't like. So I think 50-50 is as accurate as you can get, honestly.
Yeah. Brad's a gamer, man. He knows how to play this system. This is what he does best. This is where they make their bread, make their hay. So, I think I would put it at about 20%. I don't know why. I think they stay put there at 28. But to your point, Andrew, if they move up, I think that's the window they do move up in and target there. Andrew, you have been pounding the table on the offensive line first overall there. Not first overall, but first round. And I feel like there's been a gaining momentum. A lot of talk about this Gray Zabel guy out of North Dakota State. Somebody that can play, maybe that tackle role, but also maybe shift over to the guard too if needed.
There's that one, and then I believe it was Connerly Jr. I believe he was a left tackle out of Oregon. And the word on him is that he could really play any of the interior offensive line positions, guard, tackle, center. And he's projected to go a little earlier. Is he back? Is the culprit back?
He's trying to go through the trash now. Got a trash bandit.
Find the used ones. Get back in them. No, so I think he can play a multiple positions, and they were talking about him. I have seen him go higher as well in a bunch of mocks. So I think if he's available, he's also a good option. But I think no matter what, if you're going to take that guy, because it's back there, you're probably not going to get the best one. You have to get somebody that can play multiple positions, especially with how many injuries they've had over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, how many times have we come on this podcast and say we still don't have a solid 5 consistently week to week, always one in and out. Also, Mitch, you had said that you still think they go edge defensive line. Is that where you sit with 28 still? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. It's spreading like wildfire out here. Next, El Jefe is going to drop out of here. I'm next, clearly. Well, we'll have to pivot for the 13th time, I think, on this podcast. We're only 30 minutes in, and it's just been a whirlwind of things. But that's okay. That's okay. I think
We're not even at preseason yet.
No, this is the off season. This is when we iron out the wrinkles. We're good. We're good. Welcome back, Mufasa.
We're on the struggle bus tonight, boys.
This is going to be our best or worst episode, and I'm not sure which way it's leaning right now. I have a feeling
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty Brad. It's pretty Brad.
It's not pretty Brad.
No,
It's
not.
pretty bad. Oh,
My question to you was, you were still saying best available edge the last time we spoke. Where do you sit now? Oh my God, is he doing it?
Doesn't sit at all.
This is a troll job now. He's doing it intentionally. He's here, and then I ask the question, and he dipskis. He dipskis. I don't know if you folks at home, the shareholders, have a bingo card, but some of you got to be filling out a ton of spaces right now with all the instances that have come up here on this podcast. I don't know if we've got a Windows laptop issue, if it's a Windows thing, and I don't know if Windows 11 is causing issues. Windows 12, I don't even know what version we're on now. But yeah, we're here. We're out here. I think for me, if they stay put at 28, I think edge is certainly a good option. I don't think you can go wrong with wide receiver, offensive line, or defensive line in no particular order. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those. Andrew, before you were back, Mitch and I were discussing what would shock us or what would upset us positional wise at that 28th pick if we, heard the famous ESPN noise, and then with the 28th pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select, what position would just absolutely floor you? Like, have you not as upset as you were with the laptop, but upset?
Well, one, let me just say, I just envisioned that noise, got a little bit of chills as well. It's just so iconic. Two, I think there's two positions that really will upset everybody. Tight end, because it's just a classic position that the Lions have drafted high at. We've done it here recently too. Ebron, Hawkinson, and now Laporta just in like the last recent future. So that's the one. And then the other one close behind, I think, is linebacker. You got Jack Campbell, you got Anzalone. That one I think is a little more realistic though, because you've seen the price of linebackers skyrocketing here in the last few years. You and I have said since the beginning of this, we thought Anzalone was a stepping stone to hand the defense over.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, he's a cornerstone, but he will need to be replaced. And we had some guys stick around, but that one I think is a possibility, but will upset some people.
No doubt. And I'm actually surprised at how many mocks and fans alike I've seen floating out the idea of taking a linebacker there. I do think it is a linebacker. It's a deep draft in a lot of places. It's deep at edge. It's deep. It's super deep at wide receiver, and I think that certainly favors the Lions, who need one more option, in my opinion, and a lot of opinion of others. So I think it's a great opportunity for them to get a solid wide receiver at probably a further back pick than you would need to in a normal draft. That being said, I'm surprised at the linebacker. That was one on my list. Tight end was one on my list. We had floated out, Mitch and I, when you were working through your technical difficulties. Colston Loveland out of Michigan there could be there at 28. Probably is not there, but could be. And Mitch said the names Laporta and Loveland, and to me that really, the naming of it all, pretty sick naming duo. And I said it kind of sounds like it could be like an accounting firm or a law firm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I go get my taxes done at Loveland and Laporta, or Laporta and Loveland. That it just
L&L. Yeah,
it rolls off the tongue, so I like it for that. But that would shock me. I think surprise would be linebacker, shock would be tight end. And obviously we're like, it would be really crazy if they drafted a quarterback, but they're not gonna do that. We're gonna be realistic here about what they would do. But
Bad.
I stick with those three: defensive line.
Bad.
What?
Isn't
what?
that
What?
not realistic? Get
Not-
a
not
quarterback
with the
late in the first, you can have a fifth-year option.
Not with the first round pick. I don't see any world where that happens in the first round.
Let me ask you this. Could you see this? And I have to ask the question because I don't know where he's projected.
Shedeur Sanders?
No, running back.
Oh.
Genty.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it to 28. But that would shock me. That would shock me. Or a running back in general. They did have a running back on their top 30 visit, which I thought was a little interesting. Lan Larson from UC Davis, the one sole running back that they met with in the top 30 draft pick visits.
I think that's that like odd position that would also be like, okay, what we saw it with Jameer. Why do we, you know what I mean? That would be, we've had the best running back duo in the league. Why are we changing it? We said it with Jamal when we got Monty. It was a clear upgrade. Do you trust the system again? I can't really see that happen. Quarterback, I know you are just extremely opposed to it, but I really could see that possibly happening.
Hey, if Shedeur Sanders is there, maybe if he falls. But no, I don't see that. I wouldn't be surprised if they go third round quarterback. That wouldn't surprise me. If you
With
go
one of the 100 picks?
Yeah, like in that maybe second round, but probably that 102, or they move up, or in that range. I think if they do go quarterback, it would be there.
And if they do, who do you think would be the quarterbacks that would be around that range?
The quarterback from Alabama, Jalen Milroe, could be there for that second or third round pick.
Wow.
Probably more likely the second round pick. But
They
you know how it is.
Alabama.
You know how it is. Yeah, exactly. You know how it is with the quarterbacks, though. The draft night saga with quarterbacks can go way late. You start getting quarterbacks way later than you expect. So I could see it happening there. The name that's escaping me right now is the quarterback for Texas. Well, not anymore, but at the time, Quinn Ewers. I think if I don't Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon, I don't think that happens. Jackson Dart, I'm good on him, and obviously Jalen Milroe. PFF has him ranked at number 100, so perhaps he could be there at 102. Will Howard out of Ohio State, that would really upset me, but Shedeur Sanders could be there. I think we're getting way off course on that now, but to circle back to the linebacker. It is a linebacker-heavy draft, and I do think there's some opportunity there, but it would surprise me just because of those names that you mentioned. Plus, I don't know if you mentioned, but Barnes as well. So I feel like, if at all, it would be somebody that they see kind of taking over for Anzalone after his contract's up here in a couple of years. That would be the mindset there. But I just think there's better options and greater needs for the Lions. Heck, even a cornerback, I think I wouldn't be opposed to.
Yeah, I also wouldn't hate some more depth, but honestly, and I think I'm finally firmly in this position, I don't like drafting corners. I don't like developing them. Might as well get them on the free agent deals where you have them on a 2 to 3 year deal. I'm sorry, I think that's officially where I'm at. You can draft one or two of them, mainly your safety, but I don't like developing them anymore. I just feel like it's such a tough position to play that it's hard to see the translation, if that makes sense.
Say it again. Sorry.
I feel like that's such a difficult position to play. It's hard to see the transition from college to the pros. I feel like it's just like literally a coin toss.
With what position?
Corner.
Yeah. I don't know. It is tough because the wide receivers in this league are just, the jump from wide receiver from college to NFL is an incredible jump, more than other positions. So your matchup wise, but I think the Lions are good at cornerback. I think they're good, but I would like to see some depth there, and based on what's available, that could happen.
Tell you what, this I think his name is the guy out of Memphis, the quarterback out of Memphis. I think it's like Seth something. I've seen him in some talks with Gruden here. That guy kind of got me fired up. Whoa, he's backwards hatting it. Love it.
You know who else has got me fired up? Mufasa himself.
It's driving me nuts, boys. I don't know what's going on.
Wow. This,
Expect him. We'll shame him publicly.
yeah, got to get AT&T. I don't even know if he can hear us right now.
I don't think.
Nope. Nope.
It's a disaster. Download the app, sir.
Yeah, you got to go mobile. I might have to join mobile here shortly just to even things out, even the playing field for you guys. Oh, he's texting.
We're still getting it done.
He's gonna explode, is what he said.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's wait for me.
It's not good. It's not good. Let's see. Let's see if we can.
29% on my updates.
Why do the Windows updates take so long?
And the most inconvenient. Whoa, screen went black.
Uh-oh. Yes. To your point about this Seth Hennigan guy, I don't know a lot about him. I'll be honest. PFF's got him rated 275, so he could be a late round guy. Yeah. It's not a real strong quarterback class this year, so that doesn't play to the Lions' benefit. But somebody they could get in the later round. They didn't meet with any quarterback. Put it this way.
They don't seem to be happy with Hendon, obviously.
No, it's a weird marriage that's going on there.
I don't understand it still.
No, there's a lot of questions there. What do you think about old Gray Zabel there in the offensive line? We touched on him a little bit ago, but I want to go back to him about, the naming of this guy. What's up?
We can replace the Big Z.
We'd be replacing the we had Big Z, but who was big before Big V? We went from Big V, Vitae, to Big Z, Kevin Zeitler last year, and now we could have another Big Z. But you were saying we might have to come up with something better nickname than that.
I think you had something pretty good.
What was yours? Gen Z Gray?
I think that was that it?
Millennial Gray? These were conversations that we're having too early in the morning for me to be clever. Just to put it out there. But what I was thinking, Andrew, was if he does get drafted by the Detroit Lions, we could have a Label Zabel contest held by none other than the Lions share, and we can kind of crowdsource what we would give this nickname to old Gray.
I think Free Beer and Hot Wings might fight us for those naming rights on Label Zabel because that's too good to be had.
Yeah,
that's top tier, sir. You're gonna be approached for that. Mufasa's back without a camera.
He's joined in portrait mode, is what it just told me.
Yikes!
Whatever that means, probably means he's joining from a mobile phone, which is okay.
This is accurate.
Can we see that handsome face?
No.
Okay, well, that's fair. Yeah, I appreciate your honesty.
I feel like I'm going to jinx it at this point.
Yeah, we haven't had much luck on this podcast. Hopefully the Lions have better luck with that 28th overall pick.
This is an all-timer. Apologies to all the parents out there.
Yeah, all of our listeners, a.k.a. our parents, the shareholders.
Well, to be fair, this is about as good as they are with technology, so, I mean, this might be right up their alley.
Whoa, I don't know if we needed to...
Taking a buckshot at our core listenership.
Yeah, our demographics.
I feel like they'll take this in stride.
Okay, all right. Thick skin.
So what did I miss? As my computer? Are we in the third round?
Oh, 90%, dude. We're 6 trades in, dude. They're getting rid of their 2027 picks at this point.
Did you fix your computer, Andrew?
No, 64%. I mean, it shot up from 13 though.
Mine's stuck. So what are we talking about, boys? Let's talk about
the couch.
What do I think they're going to take? The best available. Do I think it's going to be edge? I don't know. I'm going to answer your question from 20 minutes ago, Ben.
Perfect.
I'm convinced it's best available. Wouldn't shock me at all if it was defensive interior. Yeah, I don't know. That's Ben. Football players. I think I was kind of saying that. He wants football players, guys who can go do the job.
Confirmed with the 28th overall pick. The Lions will take a football player. You heard it here first, folks, on the Lions share. Confirmed. We've got leaked information that the Lions will take a football player. Well,
we waited 20 minutes for
he asked if I thought it was going to be edge. I think they need edge. I think edge is their biggest need by far. But I think, Ben, as you kind of alluded to, Brad doesn't give a shit what people think. He's just going to do whatever he wants. And it's worked out well. So I think this seems to be a defensive interior heavy draft. I don't think they necessarily have to be from Michigan. I'd love Mason Graham, Andrew, like you said, though probably not realistic. There's a lot of good defensive interior players out there. So, at 28, assuming they don't trade out of that spot, if there's someone there that they have a higher draft grade on, like a top 15 guy, I think they scoop him up for sure.
Andrew floated out the idea he would be surprised if they did this, if they went linebacker with that 28th pick. Would that surprise you?
I think I'd be surprised if it was a linebacker in the traditional sense. If it's a linebacker who specializes in the edge rush position, no, because they need help. And that's kind of where I'm at, like defensive interior. If you get a pass rush specialist on the inside, because that's what you have with Aleem, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be ready for the start of the season. So, whenever he comes back, if you get another guy who's creating pressure from inside and you've got Hutch on the edge, maybe you don't, maybe that other edge isn't quite as important and you kind of spy him with Branch or, you walk up Anzalone or whoever it might be. Andrew, I said safety. I said I'd be really shocked if they called safety at 28.
Yeah, kind of draft Kirby's replacement. I mean, we've talked about it. Somebody's got to go. Somebody's not going to get paid. I would also be very shocked if a safety was taken. And Mitchell, you brought up a good point, and now that I think about
Thank you.
What's going on with the other big Z, old Za'Darius?
So we talked about this during your hiatus.
All right.
Yeah, basically it just sounds like they can't, Brad said they can't afford him at what he was currently at. I think they'd want him to come back. I think everyone would be excited if I think he's like hanging around Detroit, like Ben said. He's dating a rapper from Detroit. He's going to Stones games. I think they're just going to wait it out, see what he's probably going to test what he can get on the open market. And if they can get him at a discount, I think they'll make the move. But Brad's been pretty open about that. They couldn't make it work at the price he was at.
We will say this. If he does come back, he won't be number 99 because that number is now taken. So he'll have to come back with a different number.
Number 9.
Yeah. Just drop one of the 9s. He can take J-Mo's old number.
Yep.
Smart thinking. Well, I'm
on my toes. Light on my feet tonight.
And we can't tell because your camera's not on.
You're going to have to find some different material for your bedtime routine.
Well, this episode could use anything else. So we're not opposed to giving the shareholders another surprise. I was telling Andrew, there's got to be a bingo game going on right now, and somebody's bingo card's about to be filled.
Are you taking your shirt off, or what's about to happen?
If that's what it takes to get more viewers, more shareholders, I'll do it. I'm shameless.
What was the what was the tattoo idea between the cheeks? Is that what it was?
I think you're a little high. I think you need to go a little lower. I think we're back to the feet talk.
Oh, well, how much lower?
All the way to the floor.
Whoa, that could mean a few things.
On the bottom of the foot is what Neil suggested.
Yeah, that's crazy talk, Neil. Workshop it, bring it back. Bottom of the foot's crazy. I think Andrew's with me though. If I want Andrew in on my end of the tattoo. Andrew, we should get a little stick guy that's mowing the lawn, and he looks like he starts on me and he ends up on you when we stand next to each other.
Yeah, it can go right next to your other tattoos.
Yeah, I think I'm all set on that one, but you guys can do your little thing.
No, you got to pick a camp. You don't just get to sit there like you always do.
Well, I can do the tattoo. I can tattoo you guys. I can tattoo the loser.
I just don't think so.
And J-Mo Burger at the same time.
Yeah, J-Mo Burger's on the docket, huh?
It's been sitting there for a while. It's getting cold. Colder than it already.
We should make an effort. If J-Mo makes it the entire season without a unsportsmanlike conduct, we eat J-Mo Burgers. we eat J-Mo Burgers live and in person.
I'm with that.
I believe I saw right around the time the coaches were having their annual meeting, they were talking about the heavy enforcements that will be for unsportsmanlike celebrations, and it just kept showing JMO's playoff dance. I don't even know how to call it. I don't even know what to call it. His hip turn.
I know you can't. I know you can't sniff your fingers, so you'd be in trouble, Andrew.
Well,
That means.
no, I don't know.
I'm so scared.
I need an elaboration on that one. Need more info. Need more
His
data.
mom listened to this.
If she did, I don't know if she will anymore after this episode. Might be down in the
I
zero.
don't know if we have. I don't know if we'll have any listeners after this episode. Please
Yeah.
hang in there, Eric. I know you're listening.
Eric, Neil, and maybe a couple others. Michael, perhaps, is still here. Well,
E-Man.
E-Man. Oh, Eric? Yeah. I will say about the linebacker room. If Walker from Georgia is there, that's the only time I think I accept a linebacker in the first round. Got a couple guys on my list though, but wide receiver wise, I really like Kyle Williams out of Washington State as a later round guy, second, third round guy. If Banks Jr. from UT is there, he's a guy that can play guard or tackle on the offensive line. That's a solid pickup. A couple guys from Texas A&M that I think, you know, Dan being from Texas A&M, being an Aggie himself, I could see him having a little bias towards those guys. And then David Walker out of Central Arkansas. I think if they go edge later, think of that. Remember that name, David Walker out of Central Arkansas, a really talented, high motor guy that's probably going to be available around pick 100, 102 where they pick. So that's a name. And then also Harmon, if we want to talk defensive interior defensive line, a first round talent guy could fall to the Rams as they try to find Aaron Donald's replacement. But Harmon, a beast out of Oregon, could be there for the Lions at 28, and he also attended high school in Detroit. You know, so there's a lot of rumors, a lot of noise circling around Harmon if he's there at pick 28. So those are some names to remember. But Andrew and Mitch and I were talking about it's really hard to pick what Brad's going to do. So we're not going to sit here and nail down one player because I just don't think we can do that. Do you guys want to do a PFF mock draft and see who's available at 28? Andrew's shaking his head.
I do. I want to do one live. It'll probably light mine and Andrew's phones on fire, but I think we should try it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke yet, let's give it a shot right now. Let's queue up the.
I feel pretty confident about my. I don't know if the Android can handle it, but I feel good.
Ooh. These are fighting words. All right, so we click start draft here. Boom, 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 boom. We're halfway through. The Lions come up at pick 28. You got Luther Bolden available there, the third at wide receiver. This is a name that was going early in the first round, now has fallen way down, may even fall out of the first round is what people are saying.
25, yeah, 25 at the average drafted position.
That's right. We could probably zoom in here a
Ooh,
little bit.
Hampton, huh? Didn't think he'd be there.
Yeah. You want him to draft a running back?
Not necessarily, but a gamer?
Wouldn't surprise me. Brad's a gamer.
I mean, I think in this situation, you go Pierce, right? Like that's your biggest need. It just happens to also be like maybe not best available, but one of the best available. But yeah. This is why we're in the war room right now. Pierce has my vote, but I'm not going to draft anyone. I don't think we draft anyone unless we have consensus from the group.
It's tough. Oh, we've got two people joining. Andrew, I think your computer has just come back alive, and we've got you in here twice.
Sweet mama!
We've got the double camera.
But the computer. No. The computer's just not where it's at.
Yeah, the frame rate difference is quite remarkable.
Boys, we're rocking. This might be an every week thing now.
Come on, bud. You got to know better than to leave the echo going.
Oh, yeah.
He's double muted.
I don't see him as double muted, but...
Andrew, you got to close the computer, bud. Well, it's just me and you drafting now, bud. I like Pierce.
Well, I just got a notification that the recording stopped, so it says I have to restart the studio.
I'm here.
Well, thank God, Andrew, you're here. No one's gonna hear the episode, but you're here. Good. Now there's two beds.
It's closed on my phone. I don't know how much more to close it on.
Oh, I missed the screenshot. Why do I hear myself?
Because there's two of you.
Well, what? I only see one of me. It just started a new recording.
Andrew, we had a good thing going on the phones, dude.
That's well, man, my computer turned on. Everything opened back up. Oh man, hey, I'm glad we dedicated our lives to it.
And we lost the draft screen.
Oh, he's so upset with me.
Oh, we are.
He's so mad at me.
We are 2 hours into an absolute clunker.
I've upset El
Tough.
Jefe in a way that I don't know if I'll ever redeem myself.
I think we just have to quit.
Put this episode out there anyways.
Oh, no doubt it's going up. You think I would ever debate that?
This might make a YouTube episode of what not to do.
So is this recording?
It automatically started recording when I joined
Automatically.
back. Automatically. So we're back with the we're back here on the Lions Share
Okay,
podcast.
Andrew, who do you want to draft?
God, if we're seeing it that way, I want my tackle Gray Zabel. I want to label.
Damn it. Okay, Ben, you're the tiebreaker.
This is really tough because I just don't know with the off the field issues with Pierce. I don't know if that will play into the Lions pick. So
You don't have to pick Zabel. You can pick it. You can pick a mystery lot third, and we can reshuffle.
see, there's nobody else. I don't want same issue with Luther as Pierce. So I'm just gonna take those two names off the table, and I'm gonna have to go Nick Scorton. No, but Nick Scorton is a guy. I would think I would take Zabel. I'd take Zabel here. Zabel is the next Detroit one.
Okay. All right. With the
And
28 pick in the NFL draft, 2025 NFL draft. Sorry. Look at that. They wanted you to pick Law, and he's still available. It's hilarious.
Isn't that
Scoop
crazy?
him. Scoop him
No.
up.
No, I like this edge out of UCLA.
Oh, look, no, that's a reach, I think.
It is a reach, and I've done
Lions
it.
don't give a shit about reaching.
Andrew,
Yeah,
what
but
about
we do.
Tate-
We're responsible GMs.
You want to go back-to-back offensive lineman, Andrew? You want to go Tate Ratledge from Georgia?
No.
Guard?
Absolutely
Kyle
not.
Williams. This is a guy I like. It's too early probably to pick him.
I think you have to go Law here.
Yeah, and maybe you go Morrison, cornerback, but
Yeah, but I mean, they invested so much in cornerback last year. I think that'd be tough, and this year, really.
so it's a lot. And with
I bet our
the-
guy's still there at edge.
the
We'll get
UCLA
lucky
guy?
here. Yep, we'll get lucky here.
Oh, he's there.
Yep.
But you've also got Kyle Williams, who I'm high on. See, this has David Walker going 95. So I think if they want David Walker, I think they've got to trade up or
If they
reach
want
for him in the second
reach
round.
for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you think they reach for him instead in the second round?
they're not afraid to have somebody tell them they reach for a pick.
Tell me that just the name of that edge from UCLA isn't a Brad Holmes special.
That's exactly where my head is as well, and I think that's influencing my choice here.
Yeah, but he belongs on the Lions.
What would you do here, Andrew, with the picks that are
I'd
available?
look across the table to Brad and be like, "What are we doing?"
And
Would
you'd
you
see
go-
a mirror. And what would you do?
Would you go Kyle
I'd
Williams?
panic.
Would you go?
I think you're panicking right now.
Scroll. God, is there not much defensive interior left at this point?
Not really.
I think this is where you have to take your wide receiver then.
I think this is where it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Thank God we are just podcasters.
Here's your D line interior.
We already went D inside.
Yeah, Andrew, you idiot.
You saying you can't get two of them?
Holy! To have the average weight on the defense the highest in the NFL.
Don't matter.
So you guys like Kyle Williams here, huh?
I do. I would do the first two picks differently, but I do like Kyle Williams a lot here, and I think he makes a lot of sense for the Lions. I think he's a Lion type of player.
Yeah, I think my problem is we go into the season with a giant question mark on the other side of Hutch again.
Yeah, but I think they address that with one of the first two picks, probably the second pick.
Listen, I've been outvoted. I think the pick is in at Kyle Williams. The other two shareholders have spoken.
With the 102nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Lions select Kyle Williams, Washington.
We're gonna get a bad grade.
We are 100%.
I think we're gonna
we will.
get a C plus.
Oh.
An A.
A plus for Lott, A for Williams, B for Zabel there.
Okay, so Andrew's pick got a B. That's the most important thing to take away from this. Andrew got the lowest score.
What do they say about Brad Holmes, huh? Huh? What do they say about Jahmyr Gibbs? Huh?
What did you say about Jahmyr Gibbs?
Huh?
Yeah, we did. I was at my father-in-law's. I was not happy.
I think my initial reaction was legitimately, huh? Oh, is it just me or did everybody else freeze?
No, I'm here. Oh, there's two Bens again. This is
This guy's got to
an unfiltered disaster.
This is top tier. If anybody's still here, hello.
This is a disaster.
The fearless leader's gone.
Disaster.
There's no way.
I was gonna text you guys and say, at what point is it just Riverside?
Yeah, I think Riverside. You're right, Mitchell. They got to take a good look in the mirror at this point.
100%.
This Ben, don't look at us for this.
Nope.
No, but I can hear you.
I can hear you.
This is a 90% audio format.
This is a 99% nightmare.
This is full
I
on.
can hear you. Only I can drop pictures in the chat.
Meow.
Andrew's been such a handsome boy in his screenshots all night. Oh my god, there's two Bens again. What is going
Why?
There's
on?
3.
There are 3.
Oh, like what could possibly go wrong from now?
He's taking over.
There's probably a less than 1% chance that this episode gets fully together. Like it's gonna
I
be.
feel like you're gonna get an apology email from Riverside.
And I should, and I absolutely should.
Some
All
of
right.
us pay for this.
Yeah, this is true. We do pay a lot for this.
One of us
One of us.
in the tree, part of the tree.
All right, Ben. Before you multiply into 4s and everything is a disaster, how do we wrap this up? How do we put a bow on? How
Land
do we
it.
put a bow on this thing?
How do we polish this turd? In other words, yes. Okay, this is how we do it. We say
It's Friday night.
closing time.
Andrew, you sing a song now.
First song that comes to my head. First song.
Afternoon tonight.
I've got my hands on my knees. Oh no, that's not it. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
I did
knees
not
and
think that this
toes.
episode could sink any lower.
Yeah. Well, it could be worse. We could be Aaron Rodgers. We could have flown to New York only to get rejected. So
That guy sucks. I just listened
that's
to that.
how you. That's how we end it. We all just
I'm
say
fired
Aaron
up
Rodgers
now.
sucks.
Let's all homework for us all. Let's all write a strongly worded note for Aaron Rodgers, and that way we can mail it at our next convening.
At our next city council meetings.
Yes, we
Our
can
next
mail
board meeting,
Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers a letter on how we feel. I'm gonna do that.
I thought you were going to say write a letter to Riverside, who has absolutely given us the shaft with this episode.
Too many stamps, my guy.
Too many stamps. I think what's really screwed it up is I was screen sharing and I have my monitor vertical, and I think that just ruined everything because it all started there and it's been train wreck ever since. That's when you dropped off.
It was a train wreck much earlier.
Can you believe that this is season 4 though? So
What
have we learned?
That was my guess. Nearly 3 years ago is when the train wreck began.
Hey, we were on AirPods at the time, and that was awful. But
We were
Nobody
all
was
in the
listening
state
either.
of Texas.
so anyway, thank you, shareholders, if you made it this far, which you probably didn't, but we thank you if you
I'm
did.
not gonna.
And we will be back following the NFL draft. We'll let all those picks come in rounds 1 through 7, and then we'll be here to recap it, and hopefully a better format, and have some things cleaned up here behind the scenes. But you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Spotify. You can listen to us on Apple. You can listen to us on Amazon. You can watch us on the TikTok and Instagram for those social clips if we even can manage it out of this episode. Rate us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. Next episode, we'll be following the NFL draft. Shareholders, thanks for being here. Boys, thanks for being here. Let's go, Lions. Andrew, you know what to do.
Meow.